This is Irontrader. It is hump day, which means it is crude day. Now, the API report came out last night, and crude had a nice draw of 3 million barrels. And distillates had a build of 1.2 million barrels, and gasoline had a small draw of zero point 0.2 million barrels. So we'll see if the EIA report at 10:30 here confirms. Okay, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation of buy, sell any stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin daily and weekly chart. Now, before we get started, Netflix had their earnings yesterday, and boy, they missed on all the metrics. It was kind of surprising. That stock is down here. Oh, let's see, about 80 points here now. Now, remember, after the bell today, we got Tesla, so that could set a really good tone here for the market. So let's see how that shakes out here, okay? Right now, we'll take a look here at Bitcoin. Now, I was always pointing out this 8 SMA like I've been doing here for forever, okay? Now, yesterday we had a really nice run up, got above that 8 SMA, above the 100-day, but you notice that it couldn't go any higher, and it closed below that 8 SMA, okay? Now, look at today, rallied right up into it and then pulled right on down, and now we're sitting here right at this level like I was telling you here yesterday. We're coming right off of this level. This is going to be the key, that 107. 680 level, we want to hold that, okay? Because what we did is we held it here once, twice, three, and so far we're holding it here right now. So just watch this level. That's going to be very, very crucial on a closing basis. Now, if we lose that level, well, like I say, then we can just come right down to the next level here. Okay, we're looking at that 107, 195 level. We'll come down to the bottom of that candle right there, 107, 50 level. And then we come down here at that 106, 655. And then we can come down to the bottom of this candle right there. You're looking at 105, 540 level. And then we're going to start running right here at the retest and at that 200-day at that 103.804 level. But again, if we can hold this, that could maybe create a short-term bottom like we had in this situation here. Then we could have a rally up here. But this 8-day is everything. Okay. Now, on the upside, we're just going to be doing the reverse of what we did. So we're looking at the bottom of that candle. That's your resistance level, 108.555. And then we'll come right to the bottom of that candle, 109.270 level. Okay. Then what we do is we're going to come up here to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 110.295. We have 110, 410, and then we're going to be looking here for this 8-day, 110.898. That's going to be everything. If we can get above that level, then we can come right to the top of that candle at 111.945, and we come up there to the top of this candle here at 112.280. Then we'll be looking for this 100-day at 113.486 level. And we had the 50-day, 114.726, and then 115.386 level. But the 8-day is everything, okay? So I say once you get below that 8-day, you're fighting it the whole way until you can get back above that 8-day. So let's just see how this is all going to shake out. But the key level here today is we really want to hold the bottom of that candle, that 107.680 level, okay? That's going to be very, very critical. If not, you got a good shot at retesting this 200-day at 103.804 level. Now, if that is lost, we just come right on this weekly chart here. And right there, we'll be looking for that 50-day at 102.886. And then we come down here, we lose that. We come out to this price channel, 99.90 level, which is basically the bottom of that candle. Then all we do is we just follow that all the way on down. What do we have? You got 93.685 level. We'll come to the top of that candle, 89.20 level. Then we can come down to the bottom of this candle as you're looking at that 83 level. And then we have, we can come all the way down here to this 81 level here if we start losing all these support levels. The key is going to be two key levels here on the downside. It's going to be that 200-day, very, very critical, and this 50-day, okay? Because look how nice this has been holding all this time, that 50-day. So again, right now we're holding it, but if we start losing it on a closing basis, then we could come all the way down and really retest that 81,000 level here. Very, very simple, okay? Again, on the upside here, we just follow these candles up, but realistically, what you're really watching is this 110.896 level. That's going to be very, very critical. We have to get back and close above it. Once we do, then we can start hitting on the upside, and we'll turn that 8-day around. Now, our side, this is not overbought or oversold. The green is still below your red, showing momentum to the downside. So again, with this is going to be patience. Now, IBIT for the long is a good trade. BITX for the long is a 2-time leverage. That's a good trade. And then if you want to do a short ski, is BITI. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold and silver. Now you can see here where we're holding that 8-day very nice, and how I said sideways to up action as long as that 8-day. Now, yesterday we had this big red candle and we closed below. Now, today you notice where it came, and it came all the way down to that 21-day, and we're holding that 21-day. See, this is why you trade the charts. Kind of nice that it is. But I've been pointing out here where you're at nosebleed area here. You're at that, when you get to that 80 mark, it never does last and eventually does come off. However, it was a very, very good trade. Okay, it's just a matter of time. That's why I just traded this daily on the long side. And, I mean, this would have been a really nice good short, but I don't short gold or silver. I just traded on the long side situation. Now, the green looks like it wants to cross over the red here. This 56, this is not nowhere near overbought or oversold here. But right now, we're holding this key 21 days. So right now, your support level is going to be right to the bottom of that candle, 40.93. And then we're looking at that 40.28 level. Okay, that's going to be your very, very key levels. And that's lost here. We just follow the candles all the way down here. You got 39.61 level. We'll come up to the top of that candle here. You got 38.80 level. Okay, we can come up top of that candle. You got 38.24. And then we come all the way down here to the 37.58 level. Okay, but right now we're just trading between the 21-day and the 8-day. Now, upside, we're watching today's high at 41.75. The key is right here, 42.17. That's going to be very, very crucial on a closing basis to get back above that 8-day. If we can get back above that 42.17 level, well, then we can start aiming right for these targets up here. 43.46 level, 43.98, crack that, 44, and then we'll head towards that 45 number. But again, this 8-day is going to be very, very strong resistance, but we are holding that 21-day. So we have ping pong action. So we want to trade this range between that 21-day and that 8-day. That's what we're trading now until we crack above the 8-day. Then we take a long to that area. If we lose that 21-day, then we come down to that 50 estimate here. Okay, now here we have the old silver. Well, pretty much same thing. Rallied right on up here nicely. But this one here had that big red candle, but it closed above that 21-day. But now look at here. Now that 21-day is going to be very, very strong resistance. So what you're watching is that 48.43 on the upside. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. We get above that. Come to the bottom of that candle, 48.75. We'll come to the bottom there. You're looking at 49.66. And then we have 50.08. And then we're looking for that 8-day at 50.67. That's going to be very, very crucial. Then obviously we can go 51.61. And then we'll come on top of there at 51.83. And then we just march it on up, 52.63, until we retest your 53.76 level. Okay. Now, downside, we're going to be watching yesterday's low. That's going to be very key level, 47.12. Now, we made a little bit lower low today, but we got to close above yesterday's low. That's going to be key, 47.12, and then right here at that 46.82 level. Now, we lose that. We're going to come right down to the bottom there, 45.96, and it will come down here to the bottom here at 45.71 level. Then we can march it up to the top of that candle, 44.77, and then we have that 50-day at 43.94 level. But the 21-day now, this is going to become very, very strong resistance. So let's see how that's going to be shaken out here. But if we can get above it, then your big target is going to be that 8-day. Now, big overbought condition going on here. And now it looks like we're coming down. You got 52, but that's not overbought, oversold. But you can see how the green crossed over your red, shows momentum to the downside. So just be a little bit careful with this on the old silver and on the old gold. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil. All right, here we have the old crude oil, so we got to see how this is going to be going. Okay, so now we had this big downtrend situation. Okay, we rallied right on up here into that 21-day off of this double top right here. See that double top? Very nicely. Okay, so now it came down. Now it looks like the 8-day is kind of flattening out. Okay, so we popped above it today, but you got to get above that 58.01. Okay, so if we can get above that and close that, then we look at today's high at 58.50. Then we'll march it right up to here. You're looking at 59.11. Okay, and we'll come out to there. You're looking at 59.82. And then we're going to be looking here for the bottom of that candle. That's at 60.40 level. And then we'll look for the 21-day at 60.66 level. Okay, so right now we have this little bit upside kind of situation. But just remember, that's the same thing we had here. Okay, and then she just dropped right off. So do we have the same situation? Or what do we have here? Now, you can see how the price channels are just stair-stepping down. And now the question is, did we bottom out here? Okay, so what you want to watch is today's low. Okay, that's going to be very key. You're looking at 57.34, and then we'll come to the bottom of this candle here, 56.35, and then 55.96. That is going to be the big retest. Now, your next level, we lose that, it's going to come very simply right there at that 55.30, and then your big retest is 55.12. Okay, so right now, we still have a downtrending situation. Okay, so high, lower high, lower high, lower high, all the way on down. So we have a downtrending situation. So even if we just take from this area on, See, high, lower high, lower high. So this could rally all the way up to that 21 day, and we still have a downtrending chart. Okay, so 8 days rolling down, 21 day, 50 day, 100 day, and 200 SMA here. Okay, so right now what we basically want to do is just watch that key level, that 58.01. We get above that, your big target is going to be right there. It's going to be that 60.66 level. Your 21 day, get above that. We have the 50 day, we have the 100 day, and then we have your 200 SMA here. Okay, now downside, we really want to hold that 55.96. If you're not, then we're going to retest this 55.12. We lose this, 53, 50, 47, you come all the way down to even 43 level. But we got to see. Okay, so right now here we're holding on the bottom here. There's no divergence, but basically we're just holding on the bottom. It's not oversold. This here was oversold. Okay, so we're hanging in there pretty tough kind of a situation. But again, this is just a trader's market. So I do SEO for the long, then I scalp UCO for the long side and SEO for the short side. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. All right, here we have the old natty gas. Now, this was a very, very good trade. Okay, now you can see here what happened is we just had a gap in the go situation. So we had a really nice, good red candle. Yesterday, we closed above that 200 day, which was very, very nice at that 3.46. But now look where we went. Okay, topping tail candle. Got to be very careful. We got as high as 3.57. We're looking for 3.58. Now, the question is, do we have a double top here? Okay, see how we have a topping tail on this candle? We have a topping tail here so far, but it's early. That doesn't mean this topping tail can turn into a green candle. Okay, so just be very, very patient here. So what we're really looking for is we got to hold that 200 day. See that 200 day? Let me see if I can big this up a little bit. This is, yeah, there we go. Now you're talking. Okay, so we got to make sure that we can hold this 200 day, which is at right here, this level right here. Take it at 345. We got to hold that level. If not, your next level here is going to be right there. It's going to be at 343, and then we'll come down to the bottom of this candle here at 335. Okay, see that right there? That's what we're going to be looking for. Then what we're going to do is we'll come down to the bottom there. You're looking at 331 level, and then we're going to look for the top of this candle here at 325, and then we'll be running right in here at that 323, which is your 100-day and your 21-day. Now you can see how that 8-day came down, crossed over, but now she's rallying up. So if this does sell down, this could provide very, very good support here to take it back up. Okay. Now on the upside, well, you can see here. See this candle right there? See this candle here? Very, very similar. The question is wait early. Is it candle going to stay like that? Because yesterday we had a nice, good run up, and then it came on down, and it looked like a topping tail, and then it rallied up at the end of the day. So let's just be a little bit patient here, see what it is. Now, again, if we can crack and close above this 358, that's the key level. Close above that 358, then your next level is going to be right here. It's going to be that 362. That's going to be your next target. Okay, and then it'll come up here. There's your next target at 375. Okay, just that simple. Right? Then we can march it all the way up here. You got 388, 394. We have 4 flat, and then we come all the way to the top there at that 4.15 level. Okay, so those are your upside targets. Now remember, one level at a time. The key to this here is closing above 3.58 so we don't have that double top situation. Okay, that's going to be the very, very key. Okay, so on the downside here, just watch today, watch that 200 day. Okay, it's going to be very key, 3.46. If not, your big target here is going to be all the way down here at that 323 level, your 21 day, your 100 day, and then we have your 8-day rate below that. Okay, so right now here, just make sure that this is not a double top situation, because if it is, it's coming right on down. The key is you have to close back above that 3.58. Now, what we have here, 6.0, well, as I say, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is over your red, shows momentum to the upside here. And we have a nice looking chart where we have a low, higher low, and a higher low situation. So again, just be very, very, very patient and just watch that 358. We need to close above that in order to hit all these targets here on the upside. If not, it's going to go sideways to down action. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading. And we'll see you here what some of the stocks are, what the market is doing. Right now, NASDAQ futures here are up about 7. And I say Netflix kind of put a big crimp in everything here yesterday. That's down about 80 points. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Now, GM is rallying up here very, very nice here today. And just remember, Tesla earnings out here are after the close. And we're going to see whatever. But remember, these electric vehicles, just like GM, everything was front loaded. So we got to see how that shakes out in that fourth quarter. All right, trade what's in front of you. Now what you want.